You're talking about a sign of affection and romance anime with like a character that has like a disability. This season also has, which we talked about this a little bit, Invisible Man and his soon-to-be wife. This is probably my second favorite anime of the season, below Journal with Witch, which it's kind of hard to beat Journal with Witch.
Is Journal with Witch.
Yeah, Journal with Witch is fucking just crushing the competition. Invisible Man and his soon-to-be wife is both really nice and also really interesting in terms of how it's incorporating these different elements that like I would not have necessarily expected it to go into or like bring up all that much.
We talked about it at the end of the last episode. I was saying the writing really shows how much like kind of empathetic awareness they have.
Yes.
Because there's so many like little details that they put in that you probably would like just a normal person writing something that doesn't like have any kind of heightened awareness for these sort of things.
Yeah, a psychopath is
probably
what you're
not
saying.
include a psychopath. Yeah. But no, like it's interesting like how they kind of are thinking about the elements of like them keeping the lights off when she walks into a room because she's blind.
Yeah.
But then also there's touches like her listening to that podcast on 2x, the audiobook. That's what it was.
Yeah. Which at first I was just like, you fucking Zoomer. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you so brain rotted? Why?
There was a good bit in like, I think it was episode 11. She listens to a voicemail. It's a 4x speed. And she's like, oh, it's Akira. You left me a voicemail. Okay. And like, you just hear on the phone,
yeah.
But then it's like, that's a common thing because like you can sit there and focus on what they're saying because you're not being distracted visually.
It really feels like, yeah, they put a decent amount of care and research into like, okay, yeah, what are some like things that like blind people engage in that people might necessarily expect?
I was impressed by it with episode 1 because it's like, oh, yes. that's cool that you put that much effort into it or whatever. But I didn't expect it coming up later on with the other characters.
Yeah.
Which in retrospect, it makes perfect sense. It's like, okay, you point to that and you're like, okay, that's where it started and like this is where we're at now and it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's doing a good job at
you
taking
can always
that
do that
theme.
with the beginning of the story, right? Like the beginning of the story when you're setting it up, it's always easier to kind of do that like granular sort of storytelling where you're like, okay, this, and this.
Yeah, but maybe it falls by the wayside as it goes on.
Yeah, but then like now we're getting to a point where the furry character is talking about spots and
she has like patterned fur, so she's kind of like self-conscious about it, and she wants to wear like these cute clothes, but she can't find any cute clothes that like go well with the patterns on her fur.
And then like the invisible guy talks about how he was really inspired by
there's like a fashion model,
the one runway model who was invisible person, and kind of what he did to kind of express himself and kind of bring visibility to their condition, I guess, like race.
I guess not necessarily a condition.
It's shown as like not a disability, but like obviously
they're fantasy characters. There are aliens and elves and stuff.
There's obviously like biases and prejudices against invisible people for whatever reason. I haven't gotten into that yet.
But also Akira, he also like he had like this kind of like trauma when he was young that came kind of as a result of him being invisible, where he was basically left out in the woods because they were playing like some game at like a camp and no one could like find him because he was invisible, so he just kind of like left out there in the dark, and now is like developed like a trauma from that of like being afraid of dark places. Also, it's
integrated really organically too. Like, it's not just like, oh, hey, I got a phobia, and it like never really comes up again. It comes up in a very like heavy-handed, obvious, like bringing attention to it way. It just comes up kind of randomly when it's like he's helping his kid, and when it's appropriate, it comes very organically. Which I appreciate.
And to go back to the fashion element, it's also like, I didn't really think about the fact that like, he dresses really nice. I just assume like, well, he's a detective. Of course he would wear like these really nice like suits and stuff.
Dapper suits.
That's what detectives wear. And it's like, no, it's a conscious decision on his part, because that's a way for him to be able to express himself to the world, because, he is invisible. It's not like people can like read his like facial expressions or anything like that.
But they are very clearly thinking about like, how would someone who is invisible try to present themselves to the world, and like what would they be paying attention to? And so there's a lot of attention to detail with like how he uses suits and fashion.
I mean, obviously the romance has this element of nobody can see him, but she can't see anyone, so it's not really like a thing in their dynamic in that way.
In a way, it almost like subverts the whole like magical girlfriend sort of thing, or like the kind of standard setup where it's like an extraordinary person in the relationship versus an ordinary person, and the extraordinary person just gets made feel ordinary because they're around the ordinary person, and they kind of deal with them as if they would a normal person. Like it subverts that a bit because they are extraordinary in a sense that like he is an invisible person, but like kind of everybody is like extraordinary in that way. Like everyone's just kind of their own thing. And then she's not really ordinary in the sense of just like, oh, I'm just an average happy-go-lucky gal or whatever. She's blind. So like the way she engages with the world is fundamentally different from how everyone else does. And so those things kind of overlap in a way where what he's self-conscious of and like how people kind of perceive him because of his being invisible doesn't affect her. Like she sees him the same way as everyone else. Like, so it's interesting to see that kind of subverted in that way a little bit. Like I guess it's subverted. I don't know if that's the correct word.
The romance in the show is also very much like a wish fulfillment thing, but it's a different kind of wish fulfillment, where instead of just like, I just want a hot girl to like fall in my lap or whatever, it's I would really like a relationship where my partner is attentive and mindful and communicative with me. And it's like, oh, okay, because it's so nice.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
I think we had this discussion too. Like at the end of like someone else was like, yeah, this is what'd she call him in that episode? BA or AD, attractive darling. I forget. After the episode, I was like, yeah, he kind of is one of those. I'm like, is he? Like, he is very attentive.
Yeah.
That isn't to demean kind of how he is written as being attentive, but like, I don't think that's out of the realm of like feasibility.
It's like
or
still,
like
he's
realism.
not like sweeping her up off her feet, kidnapping her for 365 days. If you know what the fuck I'm talking about, it's not. Yeah, it's very grounded. In terms of it's not like super outlandish, but it is a very nonetheless idealized sort of dynamic that they have.
Like, I think people like underestimate like how much some things can mean to other people.
Yeah.
Because like you see it in the show where like he's just kind of comfortable buying underwear for her because he's like, well, she needs it. Like she's staying over. Granted, it's very wholesome, quote unquote, or idealized in a way.
It's playing off a wonderful bit in an earlier episode.
Well, it's like one of those things. It's like some people, I guess, their boundaries is like they're kind of more uncomfortable with that, and some people are. And he's just like, it's just underwear in a plastic bag. Like, yeah, she's gonna wear it, but like, and she's like, he seems really comfortable with this, and like to her it's a big deal, and then like later on she's kind of self-conscious about it. But like people just have different, like it's very much established that he's kind of coming from a place of insecurity in a way. Not that it's like he feels the need to be like the perfect boyfriend because he's insecure or something. It seems more like there's something going on underneath that hasn't been kind of explicitly said or like explored in depth yet, that kind of informs his actions in a way that makes sense, right?
Right.
Like he's just kind of more in tune or like thoughtful in that way because he's covering up something else. And even then, it's not like he's going above and beyond. He's not bringing flowers every day. He's not fucking like putting his coat down for her to walk over a puddle, or like it's nothing ridiculous. It's just hey, I got like a thing at the food cart when I was coming up. And it's like, little things like that do make a difference to people. I will say, I do really like how they've made Shizuka the kind of like insecure one in the relationship. Yeah. And not in like a way that is kind of
he's taking advantage of her
purity, because like a lot of shows will do that where she's like, oh, I'm a virgin, or something like I've never been together with someone. It kind of feels more fetishistic toward this purity aspect. But they've made her insecure in a way where she's just like, oh, I've not really like had relationships, and he's had other relationships. And it's interesting to have them explored through her rather than so many romances doing it through him, which I guess, granted, a lot of shoujo romance probably handle that more. Like, it is a very common thing to have like the cool playboy character be very suave and but the way this is going about it feels very grounded.
I guess in a similar vein, I just remembered this. In terms of like, because this author is very good at just thinking of things that they're operating at a level that I can't even fucking comprehend, because it's like during the beach episode, well, not really a beach, it's like the side of a river. During the Riverside episode, he's wearing a shirt the entire time, and they're just like, why don't you take off your shirt? And he's like, I'm not comfortable with that, because then you could just see into my pants and technically see my butt, and that's not something I'm comfortable with, so I like to like just keep my shirt on. And I'm just like, that's so like outside the box. Like I never would have even like thought to think of that. And again, it just goes to show like this author does a very, very good job in terms of just like really thinking things through for like each character's like perspective. I came to realize that part of my appreciation for the show, and I think your appreciation for the show as well, is that it is doing similar things to Ishizoku Reviewers, which is an insane comparison. But in the okay, you know what?
The better comparison would be Dungeon Meshi.
Sure. Or Interviews with Monster Girls a little bit, but a really interesting aspect of the show is how it is able to think about and kind of flesh out these fantasy races in ways that you wouldn't expect or wouldn't necessarily be considering to really make it feel very believable. Like this is like a real living, breathing world. And Ishizoku Reviewers also does that, but specifically in the context of sex work. So it's interesting. This is the wholesome Chungus anime of the season. Go watch it. I don't have anything more to say.
Wholesome Chungus woke anime.
It's the wokest anime of the season.